feedback, I know that a lot of you guys don't watch the videos when you're supposed to. Or if you do watch the videos, you just mute it and you fast forward or whatever, okay? So that's not helpful to you and it's not helpful to me. And when you guys fail the test, that's not a good reflection of me, okay? And so I need to change something and I'm going to change it. I'm going to do a modified flipped classroom. You guys said you want to take the notes in class because you want to be able to ask me questions and you want to be able to stop and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to do all that. We're going to watch the videos in class and you are going to have homework. And every day you're going to have homework because just like anything else in life, you have to practice. In order to get good at basketball, you have to drill and throw free throws. When you do football, you know, any other sport, any instrument that you learn, you have to practice. And a lot of my students are lazy, and so we're going to not make you lazy, okay? I'm trying to prepare you guys for college. I'm trying to prepare you guys for the world outside of high school. Your high school life is very easy, okay? Your parents take care of everything for you. You don't have to worry about any bills. Very few of you guys work. And all you have to worry about is school. When you become an adult at the age of 18, most of your parents are going to be like, okay, go. You know, make some money. Make money, pay bills, be responsible, go to school, go to work or something. And I need you guys to be competitive, okay? I need you to get the job more than someone else, okay? And a lot of things that they look at is your ability to be self-starters, to be responsible, to be, you know, to follow through with what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so we're gonna change things up a little bit. I hope that it will work better and I hope that you guys will like it a little bit more. Okay, one of the first things you guys are gonna do from now on is always do your notes in Cornell notes. On the side over here should always be your main ideas. At the end of the notes, you're always going to summarize the main ideas and write down your questions. So as I'm going through the lesson, if you have a question, you're going to write it down right here. Okay, our lesson for today is called Solving Systems of Equations. Your objective, we will always have an objective. So from now on, instead of writing it in your composition book, you're going to write it down in notes. So every day, you're going to write down notes. Your objective for today is to learn create, bless you, and graph systems of equations. You will practice writing systems of equations using real-world context.
Are you recording it?
Yes. Okay, so you're going to practice writing systems of equations using real-world context, and the essential question that you're going to be able to answer is, given real-world information, how do I create a system of equations? Your vocabulary is constraints, variables. Can you guys give me an example of a variable?
X.
Yeah, like X. What else?
Y.
Y.
Letters.
Any letter. Good. Can be A, B, C, D, all the way through the whole alphabet. Okay, and then you have what's called an ordered triple. An ordered triple, can you guys guess what that means? A triple what? Okay, so for example, when you give an ordered pair, most of the time it's an X and Y. Okay, so now in order triple is going to be X, Y, and Z. There is a third. Yes. This is 3-dimension. We're in the XY space, so a piece of paper is like an XY plane. It's a flat sheet of paper. But if I were to make this 3D, then it would have the Z coordinate on it. Okay? Constraints, when someone puts a constraint on you, what does that mean? Yeah, they're holding you back. They're putting some kind of limitation on you. You have a constraint, okay? That's what we're going to do to our graphs as well. For example, if you are paid, what's the minimum wage right now? $7.25? Okay, so if you get paid $7.25 an hour for minimum wage, he knows because he's a working man, okay? So $7.25 an hour, and what would be the constraint on the number of hours that he can work? Do you guys know?
Like,
do you have constraints as a teenager? What are they? You can only work a certain amount of hours if you're under a certain age. So if I think it's 18, right? If you're under 18, they assume that you go to school. So you cannot work past 11, and you can't work more than 20 hours a week. So that's your constraint. The constraint of you being limited on the number of hours you can work and the time that you can work will constrain your check, each week. Whereas someone who is an adult and who's over 18 years old and has no constraints, they can work 40, 50, 60 hours a week and probably earn more than you on their check. Okay, but even they have a constraint. Can you work 24/7? You're gonna burn out, right? You need time to sleep, you need time to eat, you need time with your family. So their constraint would be the 40-hour limit, okay? Or some jobs they don't give you any extra time because then they have to pay you additional money. So that would be a constraint. That's an example of a constraint. All right, guys, so if you turn to page 138 in your textbook, it gives you a real-world example. It's page 138. Okay, on page 138, can I have a student read the problem?
Okay.
Ready to go? Go, read.
Wait, which one?
Right here.
Alejandro has a computer support business shop. He estimates that the cost to run his business can be represented by y equals 48x plus 500, where x is the number of customers. He also estimates that his income can be represented by y equals 65x minus 145. How many customers will Alejandro need in order to break even? What will his profit be if he has 60 customers?
Okay, very good. So you're going to start with, thank you for reading that. You have your income equation, okay? So anytime you have a business, you have profit and you have a cost, right? So your profit, how much money you make, depends on how much money you're spending, okay? So if in this equation, it tells you how much money he makes per customer. And what you're going to do is you're going to substitute 48x plus 500 for y. So I'm going to set them both equal to each other because one is your profit and one is your income. And so, or one is your income and one is your cost. And we're going to try to see at what point do we start making money. Okay, when you solve this problem, I'm going to go ahead and show you on your paper. You're going to go ahead and write this down. The real world example from page 138 is you have two equations, 48x plus 500 and 65x minus 145. This is the cost that it takes to run the business, and the second equation is your income. So if I want to break even, what does break even mean? Yeah, so you didn't make any money, but you didn't lose any money. So that's what it's called when you break even. When you break even, you have to set your costs equal to your profit or to your money, how much money you're making. Okay, these are two linear equations, and you're going to solve for x. What would you do first? If you want to get the x's on one side, what should you move? The 48x or the 65x? Yeah, I would move the smaller number, the 48x, to both sides of the equal sign. So you're left with 500 is equal to, what's 65 minus 48?
What?
65 minus 48. You guys agree with her? 17? Okay, so it's 17x, good job. 17x minus 145, and then what do we need to get rid of next to get x by itself? Huh? Yeah, the 145, thank you, good job. We're going to get rid of the 145 by adding it to both sides of the equal sign. So now I have $500 plus 145 gives us 645 is equal to 17x. Am I almost have x by itself? Almost. We need to divide both sides by 17. Good. So what are we left with? X is equal to, hopefully one of you guys has a calculator. Can you divide 645 by 17? When you divide 645 by 17, you get 37.94. Yeah, what should we, well, what are we talking about? X is what? X is your number of customers. Okay, so how many customers does he need to serve in order to break even? 38. Yeah, at least 38 customers, okay? So his minimum number of customers that he needs to serve, so he needs 38 customers, bless you, to break even. If he serves less than 38 customers, he's going to lose money. Okay? If he serves more than 38 customers, then that's when he's going to make money.
Is this per day or?
I believe this is per day. So now it tells you, okay, find out his profit if he makes how much? Customers. If he serves 60 customers, how would we figure out his profit? So X is 60. You're going to plug in 60 wherever you see an X. So you would have 48 times 60 plus 500. And then the other one is 65 times 60 minus 145. You're going to plug in 60 wherever you see an X in your original equation. Remember our original equations were these. Plus $500. How much do you get?
380.
Yep, 3,380. Is that your cost or your profit? Profit. So now you're going to do 65. That's your cost. 65 times 60 minus 145. $3,755. Okay, so which one is your, what do you do to figure out how much money you make? Yeah, subtract. Good. So what was your cost again? I'm sorry. Tell me again. Okay. And how much was your income? Okay, do we make money? Yes. So what's your income minus your cost will equal to your profit? What's your income?
3,700.
Okay, and your cost? 3,380. And if you subtract those together, what do you get? 375. So that's how much money he made profit. So you want to graph 48x plus 500, and then you can't see it because our window is too small. But I want you to press tab and graph the second function, 65x minus 145. We need to fix the window so that we can see both functions. Go to menu, window zoom, and then select number 1, window settings. We're going to have an x minimum of 0 with, an x minimum of 0, an x maximum of 65, an x scale of 5, which means I'm going by 5s, 5, 10s, 15, 20. Your y minimum is going to be 0 profit, and then I guess the most that we can get is $3,000. and we're going to make our scale be equal to 300.